What's up, guys? It's Crash. And the other day, Infinity Ward posted on their TikTok and their Twitter another intel drop, and there were some really interesting things that you could have missed that are in there. I definitely want to talk about that really quick. We'll be live tonight with a scope talking about everything that is going on in the week of FPS. And then Thursday evening after Call of Duty Next will be a special edition broadcast of the scope. Buff and I are going to get together and talk about and react to everything we saw. I'd love to see you there and hear from you guys in chat. But anyway, as you guys know, I love these intel drops and getting a behind the scenes look at the development of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and this is no different. There's some really neat stuff in there. If you haven't seen it, I kind of just want to play it for you in full. It's time tag down below. If you've seen it, you can just go ahead and skip ahead, because what I did then was I took out all the talking and stuff so we could just see the gameplay, and I want to point out a couple details and talk about AI in general and see what you guys think. So here's the thing, we'll roll it, skip ahead if you've seen it.
How we create artificial intelligence in Modern Warfare 2.
So my name is Sergio Ocio. I'm the AI engineering director. So AI is anything that moves by itself. Enemies, allies that go with you in missions, cars. AI is everywhere in the game.
My name is Mark Grigsby. I'm a studio animation director. I say Modern Warfare 2's AI is systemic. What that means is that when you play it, you're engaging with it in a different way almost every time. If you react in a certain way, or if you move in a certain way, the AI will react to you in a different way.
The first thing that we do is to start researching to see what do people do in real life when they face this situation. We work with Navy SEALs just to make sure that everything that we do is as realistic as possible. We were looking at improving soldier speed during combat. In previous games, the AI felt like they were not appreciating their life, but in the new game, it feels like they are stressed out about the situation when they have to run somewhere.
We wanted the AI to engage with the environment. So one of the takes that we wanted is for the AI to hunt you in a way where it was believable, where you were like, okay, they're thinking about me. They're thinking about where I was, where I'm going to be, and they're preserving their lives, making sure that they're not going to get shot by me, that I'm around the corner.
The AI helps player be more immersed in the game. It makes the player feel more like a real soldier. And they're helping sell the experience of you are really in the worlds where we put you in.
I think that the players are going to really enjoy the variety that we bring to the table when it comes to the AI. Not only are we going to have combatants, non-player characters, you're going to be able to travel your own path and engage or disengage. AI is a huge part of this project. It is across the entire game where we put a lot of investment, and I think people are going to really, really enjoy it.
Here we are taking a look at the gameplay clips in this video. There's a few things that I want to point out to you that kind of come from leaks that we're kind of going to see actually happen here. In the first clips, you can see that the lighting, they're still working on it. It's pretty early. We'll see some other examples of that a little bit later on too. Here you can see a strafe step. Now this is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see strafing in a multiplayer setting a little bit later on. And that's something I really want to key on too. But a lot of these animations look really good. I still don't think it tells us how AI works as far as, if it behaves correctly. I just think AI is incredibly important, and where they said they're taking it across different modes and all modes, it has to be good. A huge example of where it can go wrong is Tarkov. That game has some of the most immersive mechanics of any game that I've ever played. And when the AI is wonky, it completely takes you out of it. I feel like AI is really hard to get right, because if you think about when you die to AI, it's incredibly frustrating, especially if DMZ is a mode where you lose a lot of loot and time and stuff like that. That could be really frustrating. And then on the other side, when you actually take out a bot or kill AI, there's not that much satisfaction there, right? Because you just killed a bot. So to make AI add to the game, it does have to be really good. So it is good to see them, putting enough effort into it to come out with an intel drop and talk about it a little bit, because it does need to be important. You might think, oh, bots are bots, but I really think there's been some examples of games where it's really important. Let me know down in the comments, you guys, if you can think of any games with good AI and then examples of games with bad AI. I would love to hear from you. The other thing is, right here we see one of the first shots of underwater. We've seen a little bit in the dark water gameplay and stuff like that, but they have talked about how water is a really big part of this game, water combat. The lighting, it looks really cool. We can see vegetation on the left moving with the current. That can be easy to animate. And then we also know that bullets are going to travel differently through there. There's going to be some of the refraction where light bends and stuff. It's supposed to be realistic water mechanics. We'll get to see a new game with naval vehicles. We didn't have any of that in Battlefield 2042, so we get some ships back. And then again, we've also been told that lethals and tacticals throwables will actually interact with the water surface, and some of them can actually float and move with the waves and stuff like that. So water is a big deal, and here is a really cool underwater shot that I definitely wanted to bring your attention to. Again, this is the same shot from earlier. On this one, let's see if I can go back just a little bit. It's kind of touchy. This shows vehicle combat. We know that they've done a lot with vehicles. There's, we saw that one teaser where you could jump across, shoot out of windows. This guy looks like he's rappelling or hanging upside down from another vehicle, maybe out of a helicopter that's following along. So just crazy Michael Bay type stuff going on in the campaign. But them adding extra stuff to vehicles, we've seen also a new beta skin that's going to be for one of the vehicles. Maybe Ground War will be a fun playable way. You can see him shooting the tire out here, which is something that has also been confirmed by leaks and by Infinity Ward, I believe, at this point. Where they're adding these vehicle mechanics, I think Ground War could play good, and potentially, I don't want to go that far, but it could be something for people disenfranchised from Battlefield 2042 to get that type of vehicle, crazy large combat. So we'll definitely keep an eye on what they do with vehicles. They're supposed to have carcasses, and after they blow up, there's still the skeletons of the vehicle are still there for cover and stuff like that. So hopefully the vehicle play is really cool. It looks like it's supposed to be. They're showcasing it here a little bit early for us, so I think that's really cool. And some other shots with the AI. Some of the subtleties in these animations are awesome. The same animation team is coming from Modern Warfare 2019, and I thought that was one of the high points to add it to immersion in the campaign. The animations are really good. Here we can see AI stumbling, so that's pretty interesting. Another thing of note is the AK-74U. This is the first shot of that, and I just think some of that stuff looks really neat. Now, coming up here is something really close, or something that you need to pay close attention to. Okay, I think we're in a multiplayer setting. It looks like an oil refinery. Watch when the player comes around the corners, you'll see a little jump step like a strafe. And Ralph Valve has talked about this on Twitter and confirmed that there is a new and different type of strafe mechanic. Hopefully it doesn't get spammed like tack sprint and slide canceling and B hopping. Hopefully it's not like that, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Watch him when he comes around this corner here. Takes that little stutter step right there. That's something that's a little bit different, and I think we're going to get a third-person view of it later. I thought this was cool to leave in, showing some Navy SEALs doing their thing, motion capture. This happens quite a bit. This has happened with past games and stuff like that, but I just think it's pretty interesting, and they can actually get some of these leaning, like when your body's leaning around corners and subtleties in the game. It's pretty cool to me. This is another example of where they're still working on lighting. This guy is flickering. Did you see that? Like the lighting is flickering off him. I thought in an intel drop you can maybe find some stuff that's not glitching out, but hopefully we don't have too much of this in the campaign where there's some flickering lighting and stuff like that. You see some really cool stuff here with how AIs are talking about the AI hunting you. And then this shows how they interact with the map, showing occlusion where they can and can't see you, moving around, clearing corners. That's a sweet ponytail, by the way, on that operator. Man, after watching Terminal List with Chris Pratt, it's got me ready to go downrange, moving all this stuff, clearing this stuff gets me hyped. It's pretty cool. Again, Darkwater gameplay that we've already seen. This is going to cut back and forth, but Exclusive Ace explained this really well in his video. If you didn't see that, he talked about how these are old assets that we've seen before, this operator skin and this M4, but this was an early showcase of how they're working on animations and how AI is supposed to work off of you and clear buildings and stuff. Right there, I think that is the actual, let me see if I can back up. That's the actual strafe step in third person. Did you see that? See that strafe step? I think that's the third person view of what the strafe step is going to be like in Modern Warfare 2. So that's something to note, and going to be keep our eye on that in the beta for sure. Again, more clips of moving through. I think the subtle stuff like leaning around the barrel is pretty cool. This guy right here, this guy's Chris Pratt, man. He's downrange, clearing stuff perfect. It's pretty cool. I really like this animation right here. I think it looks pretty neat. And then we finish out, I believe, with this guy. I don't think there's much left on here, guys. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Those were the things that I essentially wanted to point out, to keep an eye out, that were pretty cool to see in these intel drops. I love them. I love the behind the scenes look. Let me know what you guys think. I wanted to stress the importance of AI too. I think that's something that has to be right, and I feel like it's hard to get right. But anyway, guys, yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you live a couple times this week.